years, our families had a share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs, all without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this New Year's Eve, December the 31st, 2015. And you know what's become a tradition on New Year's Eve? We've had my good friend, Hank Waters. Over here, Hank.
Okay, where are you? Well, you're over there. I saw you over there.
Well, that's because I'm talking to that camera. Hank Waters.
I'm glad to be here. I come here every year.
Yeah, we need to have you here more than once a year,
I think the trick is to make sure that we are able
to
get back each year. Yeah, that's right.
You write that editorial every day. You don't miss a day, and you've been writing it for how many years in the Trib?
Well, I started in 1966.
1966.
And I just missed a handful since then. So how's your math? Mine's terrible.
Mine is too. But thousands and
thousands. Something over 17,000, I think.
That's amazing. You probably hold one of the records for the whole country.
I think so. I hold a record for quantity. We're not measuring quality now.
I think they're pretty good. I enjoy reading your columns every single day.
Well, that's nice.
The first thing I think I told you this before, but the first thing I do, I pick up the Tribune, I go out the driveway, get it, and there on the front page, I look at the death notice to make sure I'm not in it.
Yes,
the obit, and then I open it up and say, "What's Hank going to talk about today?
What's he up to today?
But when you look back over 2015, locally, what was the biggest news story here?
Well, I think in recent months it had to be at the university. What's happened on campus? Mm-hmm. We had an unusual degree of what you'd call, I'd say, discord, and some pretty serious changes in top management. And to kind of jump to the bottom line, contrary to what a lot of people think, I'm kind of sanguine about the whole thing. You like that word, sanguine? Sanguine? Because we've kind of unearthed the trouble. The apple basket has been turned over a little bit. We had shuffled through the apples, and they've been putting them back in the basket, and I think the new managers are determined to do a better job of communicating with the students. And that's not to give the former people too much discredit, because they were surprised by all this that happened, and most of us were. So now, according to Mike Middleton, the new interim university president, he asked the students to go home and think about why they're here at the university, and then come back and be prepared to meet with him very diligently and discuss the problem. He acknowledges there's a problem.
Yeah.
And he says, we're going to have a better process of talking about it. We want you to come in and we'll all work it out. What could be better than that?
No, he seems like a fine gentleman. Mm-hmm. When I watched his talk the day that he was doing the news conference, I was really impressed by his candid answers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wish him well.
Well, he's about as good a person as you could hope for to be in this position now.
Yeah. Okay. The university aside, what else big in Columbia or Central Missouri?
Oh well, we have some changes in city government coming. New mayor will be elected next April. So a new councilman. We've got a new county commissioner, at least one coming up, and
a new home for the Boone County Fair.
And yes, not settled yet, but of course.
Well, isn't the Boone County Fair going out to Sturgeon?
Yes, it is, but that's
temporary. Temporary.
That'll be temporary. It's not a big enough venue. I have for a long time hoped that we can get that, what I call the fairground still. Old people have old ways.
Yeah. Did it surprise you that they actually shuttered the fairgrounds, or what was it called? The
Central Missouri Event Center.
Event Center. Did it surprise you that actually happened?
Well, not really, but after the events had gone as they had, I was hopeful before that there would be some kind of a collaborative effort with the city and some effort put forward to fix it.
It surprised me that they actually went through with it, because I thought, no, they can't close it. They're going to come up with something.
Well, the problem they've got is a real one. It's eating into their budget. They have to subsidize it out of the operating budget, and that's something they don't want to keep doing. I don't blame them for that. So it's in a state of hiatus a little bit right now. But as I get older, I've become kind of a pudding-head, I think. Feel kind of optimistic about things.
Is that what a pudding-head is?
Yeah, a pudding-headed sanguinity. Is that a word? Do you like that?
Well, you have a way with words, Hank.
Well, even if they're wrong, huh?
Right. So we've covered the fairgrounds, we've covered the university, covered the city. What else? We got about 2 minutes left here.
Well, the city has not been covered very well. The issue of development is still being discussed. And there are people who are kind of upset about how that's gone. You've heard all that.
Oh, yeah.
I am, again, feeling pretty positive about the way we're dealing with it. We're having a good, robust discussion.
Well, what do you feel about the parking in the city? With the building all of the student housing, where is everybody going to park?
Well,
is my question.
That's always a growing or an issue in a growing city, and the city may decide to build some more public buildings. I don't think you can force private developers to provide all the parking needed. For instance, look at downtown New York City. Mm-hmm. Nobody expects there to be a parking place on every apartment.
No, but I read. I guess it was in the Tribune that I read it. Somebody asked the question is, well, they're building all these buildings for the students to live in. Where are they going to park? And the answer was, and I can't remember who said it. Well, we're going to educate the students that they don't need to have cars. They don't need to bring the cars here.
Well, the way to do that's not to have any place to park. There's one councilman that openly advocates that. Ian Thomas of the 4th Ward does not like to accommodate the automobile, thinking it's better to have public transit, public parking.
Ask Darwin Hyman. He'd just ride his bicycle or walk.
And that doesn't mean that it's a compromise. It's something that's being crafted. So.
Well, everything has to be a compromise to make it work.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Hank Waters, we're out of time for today.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming. It's my pleasure. I mean, New Year's Eve wouldn't seem like New Year's Eve without Hank Waters here.
We couldn't have the new year, could we?
Everything would just stop.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's your New Year's Day column? I don't know yet, do you?
No. Way too far ahead.
All right, Hank Waters, thank you so much for coming. Continued success. I hope you have another, 50 years of writing. Another 50 years of writing that column.
Well, same to you. You've been around almost. You're kind of a fixture yourself.
Well, am I? It's been 46 years here in Columbia, going on 47.
Wow.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining us today. If you're going out tonight, stay safe, and we'll see you on New Year's Day tomorrow. Bye-bye.